His name still echoes through history, carrying with it a sense of terror. Genghis Khan, man whose armies burned cities, erased entire kingdoms, and reshaped the world map forever. To some, he is the greatest conqueror in human history. To others, the most brutal killer the world has ever known. But the true story of Genghis Khan is far more complex than just one or the other. This is the real story of brutality, survival, and the creation of an empire unlike anything the world had ever seen before. Genghis Khan was born around the year 1162 on the vast, unforgiving Mongolian steppe. His real name wasn't Genghis Khan, it was Temujin. Life for the nomadic Mongol tribes was harsh and relentless. Survival depended on strength, absolute loyalty, and often violence. A brutal lesson came early. When Temujin was just 9 years old, his father, a minor clan chief, was poisoned by a rival tribe. The betrayal didn't end there. Soon after, his own people abandoned his family, leaving them to starve on the open steppe. They survived by eating whatever they could find: roots, rodents, and fish from frozen rivers. This desperate existence forged him. At just 15 years old, Temujin killed his own half-brother during a fight over food. It was a brutal act, but one shaped by the desperation of his world, not simple cruelty. The steppe had taught him its most important lesson: mercy does not keep you alive. As a teenager, Temujin's life became even more precarious. He was captured by a rival clan and enslaved. Forced to wear a heavy wooden collar, he was paraded as property, a symbol of his clan's weakness. Most men in his position would have broken, dying forgotten in bondage. But Temujin was different. He watched, he waited, and he escaped. That escape was the turning point of his life. Free once more, he began to gather followers. But he didn't seek out nobles or the sons of powerful families. Instead, he drew in men who were outcasts like him, men who believed in his strength and his vision. For the first time in Mongol history, loyalty was valued more than bloodline. A new kind of brotherhood was forming, one forged in shared hardship and loyalty to a man, not a name. By the year 1206, after decades of brutal tribal warfare, Temujin had either defeated or united all of the Mongol tribes under his banner. At a grand assembly, a Kurultai, he was given a new name, a title that would ring through the ages: Genghis Khan, meaning the ruler of all. This moment marked the official birth of the Mongol Empire. But this unity was achieved through unimaginable violence. To prevent future rebellions and cycles of revenge, entire clans that resisted were systematically destroyed. Their survivors were not cast out. They were absorbed into his rapidly growing army. Brutality had become policy, a calculated tool for building a nation from the scattered, warring tribes of the steppe. Genghis Khan did not rely only on the strength of his warriors or the sharpness of their swords. His most powerful weapon was psychological, pure, unadulterated fear. He established a simple, terrifying rule: if a city surrendered to his armies without a fight, its people would be spared. If it dared to resist, it would be erased from the face of the earth. When a city was taken by force, mass executions often followed. Cities were burned to the ground. In some infamous cases, the heads of the slaughtered were piled into grotesque towers, serving as a chilling warning to anyone else who might consider defiance. These stories of absolute annihilation spread far faster than his armies could ride. As a result, many cities, hearing of the fate of others, simply threw open their gates and surrendered without a single battle. To Genghis Khan, this terror wasn't just cruelty for its own sake. It was a strategy. It saved time, resources, and most importantly to him, it saved Mongol lives. The Mongol armies conquered with a speed and discipline the world had never witnessed. Their strengths came from a combination of innovative tactics. Their core was the highly trained horse archer, a warrior who could ride for days and shoot with deadly accuracy from the saddle. They used advanced battlefield communication systems with flags and horns, allowing them to coordinate vast armies across huge distances. And they mastered psychological warfare, turning their terrifying reputation into a weapon. Under Genghis Khan's command, the Mongol Empire exploded across the map. It swallowed northern China, swept through Central Asia, conquered the mighty Persian Khwarezmian Empire, and pushed into Eastern Europe. It grew to become the largest continuous land empire in all of human history. Yet, hidden behind the wake of destruction, a surprising new order began to emerge. Genghis Khan was not just a conqueror. He was a brilliant administrator and lawmaker. He created a code of laws known as the Yasa. This legal code was strict and absolute. It banned theft and adultery, punished corruption severely, and established that all envoys and diplomats were to be protected. In a revolutionary move for the time, the Yasa also mandated religious freedom throughout the empire. Christians, Muslims, and Buddhists were all free to practice their faith. Under his protection, trade flourished. The Silk Road, once a dangerous patchwork of routes, became a safe, unified highway for commerce. Merchants were given protection, and goods, ideas, and cultures flowed between East and West like never before. He spared scholars, engineers, and craftsmen from conquered lands, recognizing their value and moving them throughout his empire to share their skills. His empire connected the world. Still, we cannot forget that millions died to create it. Both of these truths exist side by side. Genghis Khan died in the year 1227 while on a military campaign against the Tangut Kingdom. The exact cause of his death remains a mystery to this day. Some accounts say he fell from his horse. Others suggest he died from an infection or was killed in battle. His final resting place is one of history's greatest and most enduring mysteries. According to legend, his funeral procession killed everyone and everything they encountered on their journey to ensure the location of his tomb would remain secret forever. The soldiers who buried him were then killed by another group of soldiers, who were in turn executed. To this day, despite countless searches, the tomb of Genghis Khan has never been found. So, who was he? Genghis Khan was not a simple hero, and he was not simply a monster. He was a product of a violent world, a man who not only survived it, but mastered it. His empire redrew the borders of nations, transformed global economies, and altered the course of history itself. He was feared by millions, yet he commanded unwavering loyalty from his own people. He was an unforgettable force upon the world. The question that remains for us to ponder is this: was Genghis Khan history's greatest destroyer, or its most powerful builder? Thanks for watching. If you want to explore more complex figures from history, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.